A lot of Filipinos dream about going abroad to experience what it's like living in another world, full of amazing possibilities and a fresh start. But it's not always as smooth and easy as we might think. There are many challenges, struggles, and surprises that require us to adapt and face our inner selves in a whole different way. In today's episode of Genie TV for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, we'll be talking to one of the best actresses in Philippine TV drama and learn more about her transition working in Australia, starting from scratch, taking multiple jobs as a door-to-door salesperson, a waitress, and now as a childcare educator. Rich Asuncion shares her story as an OFW along with her Filipino-Australian husband, Asuncion-Mudie, a former national player for the Philippine Volcanoes. Let's join this couple as they get interviewed by the Make-A-Wish Foundation Corporate Secretary, Yuri Marshall.
Well, thanks guys for joining today's episode of Genie TV. What brought you to the decision to go to Australia, to migrate to Australia?
It was definitely not planned. We didn't plan to migrate here this year.
I did.
Ben did, but Bella and I didn't.
They were meant to be between countries for the year.
Just for the year, just to try it out, because it's just because of the pandemic.
Okay.
Got stuck here. Well,
What do you mean we got stuck here?
we got stuck here. I didn't mean it like that way.
You were a celebrity in the Philippines, and then now you're in Australia, having to settle and, find your way there. How has that journey been?
It was difficult, challenging, yeah. A bit difficult. But Ben's supportive. Ben's family Ben's family is very supportive of me as well. I don't really mind not being able to do that anymore. I kind of enjoy my work now as a childcare educator and as a waitress in a restaurant. It's a bit different, but I really like the challenge.
It's amazing. And were you able to reach out to the Filipino community while you've been there?
Yeah, through Ben's mom, who is also a Filipina. I was able to meet a lot of Filipinos. Actually, we're part of we have like a Filipino community here.
We deliver groceries to them every week. Little business started up. You're only to getting to where you are now. She worked some interesting, what were you?
I was selling solar panels. I was going door knocking, like going door to door, selling solar panels.
Taking her to random places she'd never been to. She called me one time crying, actually.
Ben said, that's good that I took the job because any job after that will be easier.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to see the bad side in order to appreciate the good.
Yeah.
I actually think that struggle, that journey or that transition that you're going through, do you think that would be something common that most people would experience, like going from Philippines to another country?
Assimilation,
yeah. I remember posting about it, and a lot of people told me their own stories.
There was a lot of support around that, being especially the OFW trying to people think the OFW in the Philippines have it like this amazing life in their home country, whereas they're in Australia not so much, but in other countries they're quite belittled or looked down upon.
Imagine me, I already have a family here, Ben's family. Imagine all the other Filipinos, no family,
no
just starting
network.
on their own.
But at the same time, that's one of the beauties of the Filipino is if you know a way to find the community there, they're always willing to help you, hospitable. They're the nicest people in the world to identify with, and you'll always, I guess, have a family as long as there's Filipinos around. She gets probably once a week. You get identified while you're waitressing.
Yeah.
By someone being, are you, di ba Rich Asuncion ka? Di ba artista ka?
And what about family? Like, you talked about family before, having family support, and you have your family of your own. Has that been important in kind of keeping you stable or focused?
That's the foundation of my, you know, my strength. That's where I get my strength from. Having my family, having Ben by my side, that when something is like goes wrong, or
Surely being able to see Bella like every hour of the day if you wanted to must be
yeah,
like that's such a bonus of work. Because one of
course,
your
yeah.
biggest fears as a worker is missing your children growing up, and you get to see them every day, multiple times throughout the day, and
yeah, definitely.
it's definitely one of the upsides of your industry, I think, here as in childhood education.
Okay, excellent. So you mentioned childhood education. So Rich, is that your other job?
Yeah, that's my full-time job. I have a full-time job in daycare center.
And when she has time, she's my wife.
We thought before, what's the best job I could get, and while taking care of Bella, and we're like in the future, I'm thinking when I go back to the Philippines, if there's an opportunity, I can do that as well there, and you know, share that learning there.
Speaking of children and you wanting to come back and potentially bringing across here some of the education to the Philippines, what would be the main things you think you would bring over for children? Like, what were the main things you'd like to teach if you were to bring that over to the Philippines?
The sense of independence. But like last week I was telling Ben, you know, in childcare they're teaching the children to say stop instead of no, and I think that's good, because when you say stop, I don't like it, it gives them the power to, like, what did you say? It's like
it's
power.
an action. It's demanding action as opposed to just
when you say
saying
no,
your
like,
preference.
Yeah,
basically.
when you say no, you feel like a victim.
Yeah, I don't like it as much, because when I met Rich, she was this quiet, peaceful person, and now I'm the victim. She's always she's the powerful one. Ako parang tahimik lang ako.
I'm actually extremely passionate about the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I'm actually grateful for you guys joining, because I think for the first time we've got a platform where, you know, you can share your thoughts about, you know, how you think you can help children, family values, and also, you know, have something interesting for people to listen to. And as a parent, how do you think, like, families who have children with critical illnesses, how do you think they would be impacted by the power of a wish, for example, that was granted to a critical ill child?
You know, just doing a little bit of, you know, giving up a bit of time, the act of kindness can go a long way, can resonate with someone in who knows what kind of magnitude, you know. Someone does something nice for you, like if you're out in public and someone did something as simple as buying you a coffee, a complete stranger, that would stay with you for the rest of your life, sort of thing. Those little things, and perhaps as a society or as humans, we don't go out of our way enough to do that for those in need. I think for the families having to go through things every day, watching their child struggle, then seeing them with a smile on their face as a result of a wish being granted to them, it'd be one of those moments that they would remember forever, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially now that we are parents, and we feel, of course, our child is the most precious thing we have in our lives, and when Bella's sad, we're sad. I feel like when she's hurt, I'm hurt as well. Especially when she's happy, then that makes me so happy.
Speaking of joy, like, what does joy mean to you?
Ikaw, para sa'yo. Ako?
Being with you.
Think about what would it have been before we had Bella. It would have been like, yeah, us being together. But now with Bella, it's like it all revolves around them. Like, if she's happy, there's probably not a moment she's happy that we're not. Then your joy is not As in, yeah, it has nothing to do with you anymore. Materialism couldn't replace
No.
the sentiment we get from seeing Bella being
Mm.
happy. Not even close.
Yeah. This pandemic definitely taught us that joy is very simple.
One of the other values that's important to the foundation is there's hope and then there's strength, right? So what would you say brings you strength? Like Rich, we'll start with you.
Just waking up every day to my family, that gives me strength. That fuels me to work harder each day, to be the best, to be a better person each day.
It's funny here because I'm from here. I grew up with Australian values, but after living in the Philippines for so long, I feel like I'd almost say the Asian way in terms of how being a family is, the mechanics of that is a much better way. Because here, like, no, we wake up to Bella, we still all sleep in the same bed together. I wouldn't change that for the world.
Mm.
I get to fall asleep and wake up to the most important people in the world to me. And that is my motivation every day. You know, before I'm out the door going to work, I sometimes just linger around and watch Bella sleep for a little bit just to get that last snapshot of her in my head before I go off. And the reality is one day, God forbid, I hope not, but they might not be there. It would be the scariest part. You want to cherish every moment you have with them. If anything life has taught us this year is it can change so quickly.
I appreciate that, guys. That's amazing. I mean, like, we've already had quite a long conversation, so I think we'll be wrapping up soon. What I'd like to do is organize a wish, maybe potentially for you guys to be involved with. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. And for everyone that's watching, is there a message that you want to send back to the Philippines, like from Australia? Is there a message you want to give out to everyone that's watching, that's obviously struggling through the pandemic, whether it's parents or children? Is there a message that each of you want to send back?
I guess for us, watching it from afar, from outside to in, is like, you guys aren't forgotten just because we're in a different country. Like, we think about the Philippines daily. I guess for us, all we'd like to say is just believe that you can get through this. Belief is one of the strongest things that we have. Believe you can do that. Believe in God's will and His purpose to support you through whatever hardship you're going through, and just keep fighting the good fight. Everyone, giving up never helped anyone.
Yeah, just same like Ben. It's like, just don't lose hope. The fact that we're still here is already a blessing. We just have to remember that this will pass.
Yeah, life goes on. You just gotta survive.
There's an end to this. There's an end to this.
Seek help when you need it. Hopefully there's someone around that's willing to support you through whatever's going on.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. That's all we have time for today. So maybe next time we jump on Zoom, we'll be talking about the wish. Then we'll see how that experience pans out. I'm looking forward to you guys changing the life of a little child here in the Philippines. Thanks, guys. All right, then.
All right. Thanks, Yuri.
Bye.
Great to see
Thank
you.
After over a decade of building her career in Philippine showbiz, Rich Asuncion learned a different side to herself during these humble beginnings as an OFW in Australia. She remains grounded and was able to find joy, strength, and hope, especially in this time during the pandemic. Her husband, Genie, also shows how important it is in having a strong partnership, the impact of supporting each other. And just like what Bench said, giving up never helped anyone. And sometimes you need to see the bad in order to see the good. If Rich and Bench's story is one that you can relate to, or you'd like to share your own, we'd love to read it in the comment section below. We hope to see you in the next episode of Genie TV as we grant a wish to a child with a critical illness. To donate or volunteer to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, simply scan the QR code or visit the Make-A-Wish Foundation website. Stay tuned for more surprises.